All right, right at the mark. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Thursday morning. For me, it kind of feels like a Friday, only because I am heading out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And so I've got all kinds of gear around the house, packing up for 4 days on the Colorado River. Just me and my kayak, pretty much. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about how to find people on LinkedIn that you may want to build a relationship with. So that's the topic of the day. Before we get into our content, I'm going to introduce Ronan Rahman, my co-host. There he is. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
How are
You know
you?
what? I have to tell you, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
getting away and doing what you're doing and the contribution that you're making to kids and everything. I think it's just really amazing, and it's going to be a great time. It's been so crazy for the past few months. I think this is a great little adventure to go on and take your mind out of that and into something much more productive.
It is extremely productive, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. I've done trips similar to this many times, and as soon as your boat hits that, like we're launching at the base of Hoover Dam, which is an awesome place to launch because you don't often get to see that vantage point of the dam looking up at it
Right.
from the
It's
base.
incredible.
Yeah, and it's just gargantuan and cool, and it's very peaceful in the water right there. It's extremely calm and just nice, and you just get in that kayak and you're like floating around. You're like, okay, it just breathes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So
Cool. Well, we're live. So ask questions. We're going to be talking about Sales Navigator and searching in general. And, now that you have all those other parts and pieces, your profile's ready, you got your messaging straight, who are you going to message?
there you
Right.
go. Who are you
So
gonna call? Who are you gonna call?
exactly. So that's what we're up to. I'm going to scoot out of here and let you do your thing.
Sounds great. All right, so I'm just going to dive right in and go to my LinkedIn account, um, which is here. And I'm going to show you two ways that you can find people on LinkedIn. One is using the basic LinkedIn search that comes with all LinkedIn accounts. There's no cost to this at all. So if you have a LinkedIn account, you have access to this. And then I'm going to show you how to do the same type of a search with a lot more specificity and a lot more power using their paid tool called Sales Navigator Pro. And so I'm actually going to do a real example of some of a search that I'm actually working on right now, or we're working on as a business for one of our clients. And so this particular client reaches out to accountants and bookkeepers and professionals that consider themselves or advertise themselves as outsourced CFOs. So I'm just going to type in, I'll just start with bookkeeper, and we'll just start with that and see what comes up here. And I'm sure there's a lot. Yeah, if you look here, it's showing 627,048 results for the search term bookkeeper. And when you use this basic search, it's searching all content, right? Not just people, but groups, posts, all kinds of content on articles, everything throughout the entire LinkedIn network. And so we're looking for people, right? So not necessarily like this. This says bookkeeping or bookkeeper. I think this is a business that may be in the bookkeeping business, so that might be a good prospect. Let me turn off my phone. Hold on. Do not disturb. Okay. And then here's someone here, Johnny Ing. This person is an administrative assistant bookkeeper at a CPA firm. So this person might be someone to reach out to. I'm not sure. Here's someone else who's a bookkeeper, but the results are pretty all over the place. Now we're getting here like learning articles about bookkeeping. It looks like here's some more people. Here's some jobs that are posted about bookkeeping, groups about bookkeeping. Here's some more people sprinkled in. So with the basic search on LinkedIn, you get kind of a potpourri of results when you're searching for something, especially if you're searching for people to connect with. I just noticed that this bookkeeper result at the top, it's from a company in Tel Aviv. I see the Hebrew language next here. So, you don't really know what you're going to get. So what you need to do is use what's called a Boolean search command to start narrowing down what you're really looking for. Because, and if you hover over, like I just clicked here in the search, and you can see where LinkedIn is asking, do you want bookkeeper in jobs, bookkeeper in people, bookkeeper in groups? So we could start by going, hey, let's look for bookkeeper in people. And that could help narrow down a little bit in finding people that are bookkeepers. And you notice that it kind of eliminated all of the extraneous other search criteria. And so now we're getting closer to what we might be looking for. I'm going to take it another step further, though, and use one of those Boolean search commands. And the one I'm going to use is the word and. And if you type the word and in all capital letters, every letter has to be in caps for LinkedIn to know that's what you're asking it to do, is give it a command. And I'm going to attach something else as another criteria or filter. It can be sometimes used as another way to narrow down my search. So let's say I want to find bookkeepers, let's say in Los Angeles, California area, right? So I could type in and Los Angeles, and what it's going to do is it's going to look for bookkeepers who are people and also have something in their profile that indicates they might be in the Los Angeles area. And when I do that, I'm expecting, and it looks like I got what I looked for. Now I'm down to 25,000 results, which is a far cry from 600 plus thousand. And if you notice here, all these people are in, it looks like, the greater Los Angeles area, which is much closer to what in this particular case I'm looking for. You could put any city in here you want. And there's other things you could do, like you could, I'm just curious what would happen if I used and CPA. And the reason I'm going to do that is this might find bookkeepers that work at CPA firms, okay? And it actually does. Look, here is Joy, a bookkeeper at a CPA firm. Here's Valencia, a bookkeeper at a CPA firm. So that's interesting. Hadn't done the search before. So I was just curious and testing this out. My point is you can stack these Boolean and commands, and it's going to look for people that meet all of those criteria, not just one. So it's a really powerful way to find people using the free search criteria on LinkedIn. And you'll notice here, like, let's say I wanted to connect with Joy. I could just click this connect button here, send out my connection request message, which we went over yesterday, and who knows, and wait to see if she connects back with me. So that's using the free tool. Now let's head over to Sales Navigator, and I'm going to show you the same kind of search, but you'll see the power that you have available here. So let me click on my Sales Navigator, and this is a paid subscription. I believe it's $80 per month, although they do provide a free 30-day trial when you start out with it. So if you want to, play around with this and see what kind of results you get, go ahead and grab that 30-day free trial. So on Sales Navigator, you have a much more powerful search engine. I'm going to show you what we do. First, we start with this all filters link next to the search bar. And if I click on this once, there's two ways I can search using Sales Navigator. I can search for people and I can search for companies. People are what they call leads, and companies are what they call accounts. So I'm going to use this lead filter, and that's going to pull up all these different filters that I can narrow my search down with to find, in this case, bookkeepers. Because we don't want to work with a list of 25,000 prospects, right? That's just too much to handle. We're looking for a list in the hundreds, maybe at the most 1,000 people that we're going to work with and work on for maybe a month or two. So I'm going to start the same way and just type in bookkeeper and hit, and you'll see that they have some suggestions here as well. Bookkeeper, QuickBooks, bookkeeping, accountant, things like that. I'm just going to leave it as bookkeeper and hit enter and see what happens. And you'll notice here at the top right, it's going to keep updating me on how many total results it's finding throughout the entire LinkedIn world. 660,000. That's a lot, obviously. So we're going to be narrowing this down. I'm going to use the geography filter, and we'll do the same Los Angeles area. And I'm going to choose Los Angeles metropolitan area. I don't have to use the Boolean command, although I could in the keyword area. I'm just going to use the filter. It's easier and more accurate. So now I'm down to 22,000 results just in LA that meet this criteria. But here's where things get really interesting. If I scroll down here, I can narrow my search into people that work for different sized companies, have different seniority levels within the company, different levels of experience or years of experience in their field. And this is where things get better, because then I can tailor my messaging more specifically to the individuals that I'm reaching out to. So for example, maybe I want to choose bookkeepers that work for relatively small companies. So something like, 1 to 10, 11 to 50, and maybe even self-employed. Okay. So now I'm down to 6,500 results. And I'm only reaching out to people that work for businesses that have no more than 50 total employees. So that's a market or a segment. You could even, eliminate this 11 to 50. And now you're looking at even a more narrow group of bookkeepers that might be in business for themselves or just have like a couple of assistants or things like that. That's a different message than a bookkeeper that might be working for a business that has 200 employees, right? They have different challenges, different problems, different desires. So if you go back and listen to the rest of the training from the week, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The other thing that I could do is I may not want to work or reach out to a bookkeeper that's brand new in their company. Maybe I want to work with or reach out to people that have had some experience there. So if I use this years in current position or years at current company, that's going to help narrow the field even further. So let's look at years at current company. I'll say 3 to 5, 6 to 10, more than 10. And so now I'm looking at a group of only 873 prospects of people that work for small companies, but they've been there for at least 3 years. So that person's in a different level of mindset than someone that may have just started their job, right? And so that's how we kind of use these filters that you just don't have access to using the free LinkedIn search. So I'm going to stick with this for now. You can see there's other ways you could filter down. Let me just see if there's any others I want to point out. Seniority level is something that we sometimes will use, where we might want to reach owners and partners and C-level people. I'm not going to do that for this particular, maybe, I'm not going to for this particular search. So we're going to leave it like here, but sometimes that's something you might want to use, or even job title itself. So I'm going to search by clicking the search button and see what pulls back here. So here we go. So I'm looking at this list of people, and what I'm looking for are these the kinds of people that I would want to connect with? And so here's Yvonne, bookkeeper at, I can't pronounce that name, but some furniture store, it looks like. So she's working at a furniture store. Here's assistant controller for Habitat for Humanity, bookkeeper, freelance. Okay, that looks pretty good. Dispatcher. Okay, so sometimes you're going to get odd results, like this is a dispatcher for Time Warner Cable, obviously not a bookkeeper. If I were to click on Michelle's profile, I would probably find that she has a bookkeeping background, or maybe she's moonlighting as well as a bookkeeper, and she has a couple of different current positions. So bookkeeper at a window cleaning place. So these may or may not be the kinds of people I'm looking for, because I'm really looking for people that are bookkeepers, either for bookkeeping businesses or CPA firms. Some of them are, like here's certified public bookkeeper at a bookkeeping company, but not all of them, maybe 30, 40%, just looking at this list. So I would probably do some more refinement before reaching out to all these people, or just be very selective in who I reach out to, which you can do. So one of the things you could do, by the way, I'll just show you, is you could click on the people that, like, here's an accountant at a wealth management company. Here's a certified bookkeeper at a bookkeeping company. So you can select these and you can add them into a list in Sales Navigator. You use the save to list area, and then you can just work that list within Sales Navigator itself to make your connection requests. So that's another tool that they offer within Sales Navigator. One other thing I want to point out before I end this particular training is one of the really interesting things, and I think really powerful things that Sales Navigator does for us, is they have this tab called Posted on LinkedIn in the past 90 days. So even though all 874 of these people, they may be good prospects for me, if I want to really get a kickstart and a faster result and higher response rate, I'm going to go and click on this tab called 90, which says 92 people. These are the people who are posting actively on LinkedIn and I know that they're using their LinkedIn account on a regular basis. It doesn't mean that the other 780 people or what have you are not active. It just means that they're not posting content and commenting on posts potentially, particularly. But it doesn't mean they're not active. It just means they might not be actually posting. But I would work that list first before moving over and working the rest of the list, if you will. So that's just another cool feature that Sales Navigator provides. So if you have a Sales Navigator account, I hope some of this training was useful for you and how to use it better. If you don't have one, maybe grab that free trial and check it out for the next 30 days and see what happens. So I'm going to go back to video screen. Hello, and bring you on. Thanks, Ronan.
Hey,
so that's what I got today.
Couple things. I just want to point out, we both have the full version. We pay the $80 a month to have the Sales Navigator. And I can distinctly remember when I had just the regular, even just the regular premium, which was like $29 a month, my searchability in LinkedIn was very limited. It returned only 3 results. It was not as robust as what you demonstrated in LinkedIn. So I just want people to know that because we have the full account, it just gives us full access in both platforms.
Right.
So that is one thing, and just be clear about what it is you're searching for. If you do occasional searches, that's one thing. But if you're really using it as a networking tool, then you definitely want to get the Sales Navigator and hone in on who it is you're looking for. Because at the beginning of the week, we talked about market to message match, right? Well, part of that and finding that right person that fits your headline is using Sales Navigator. And we have now a date for our full-on.
Oh, thank you. I totally forgot to mention that.
Right? Which we will cover all of this stuff, right? On August, what did we say? The 20th.
It's August 20th, yeah.
And so August 20th, we're going to be rolling out
that URL.
Yeah. So here's the URL right there. So
So we're doing a deep dive workshop. It'll be about a 2-hour intensive where we're going to unpack our entire process for how we guarantee sales appointments for ourselves and our clients. From soup to nuts, it comes with a workbook, and if you're here in person, it'll come with a lunch. We are going to be streaming it virtually as well. So just if you want information about that and be on the waiting list, if you will, or the information list, just go to guaranteedappointmentslive.com, fill out the information there, and on August 20th, we will be facilitating that. Looking forward to doing so.
Yeah. And the great part is that you can bring your laptop, and
right. It's a working meeting for sure.
Yeah. So bring your laptop. You can check your own profile. This isn't just a bunch of theory. So it's going to be great.
Great. Awesome.
All right. Well, tomorrow you're taking a day off.
I am. I will be on the river. So,
so we'll be back on Monday.
I will be back Monday evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I'm in a spot when I wake up on Monday where I've got a connection to the internet, which I don't expect to have, then maybe we'll pull off a training on Monday morning from the river. But that remains to be seen because I don't exactly know where I'm going to be on the river.
So, that's awesome. So we'll either do a live remote or not. And
exactly.
It'll just be what it'll be. At the end of the day, though, if you found any of this training useful, then the full-on deep dive is going to be super useful. Click on the link, get registered, and we'll see you then. All right. See you later. Have fun on the river.
I will.